This is KOBV 103.3 Bentonville Community Radio, and you're listening to the Arkansas podcast, all things Arkansas. And today we are visiting with Mr. Hayne Begley. He is the owner of Delta Biscuits. Correct me if I have any of my verbiage wrong, but worked real hard on your name because it is unique, Hayne. And I'm Thelonious Chunk. And glad to have you on the podcast today. Welcome to the Arkansas podcast.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
There is some hand claps on here somewhere, and I can't get them to work all the time. Oh, no.
That's the laugh track.
That wasn't it. But wanted to say big thanks for coming out. This is the first show I am airing on KOBV in quite a while, and it is having to do with reaching out to the community of Arkansas. And by proximity, I have been going to Delta Biscuits and found out all my nutritional needs can be met, and my family loves it too. What can you tell us about your food truck that is new to the area when it comes to having a permanent space on 5th and J? But tell us about Delta Biscuits.
Yeah, so I started the idea of Delta Biscuit Company in 2014. I was working for Union Pacific Railroad and was working for them with the intention of leaving at some point and opening a restaurant. And in Little Rock, where Delta Biscuit started, there was no real everyday local great breakfast place. And breakfast brunch is kind of my favorite meal. So I said, okay, let's fill this gap. And over the next few years, developed the menu, developed the biscuit recipe, worked on you slowly develop menu recipes. And then in the fall of 2018, so November 11th to be exact, we opened the doors on the Delta Biscuit Company food truck to just a line around the block and tons of great reviews. We were there until April of 2022. We moved up here, started moving up here mid-March last year, and then opened up, I think April 4th was our first day up here. But it was great success up here. I have been toying with the idea of moving up here for a while, and with kind of what I was seeing in this area, the growth here was just, for a business with wheels that can just drive somewhere else, it was too great of an opportunity to pass up for me. And we opened up in April, and we were over on 8th and A, and we were there until November, and then we got asked to move over and take this spot next to you here, right next to Airship Coffee on 5th Street, and it's been fantastic.
Awesome. And Airship Coffee, everybody knows where that is on 5th and J, and there is lots of parking every day of the week, whether it be at the Cash building, the Studios building, right there next to the food truck, so it's really easily accessible. There's a lot of different things on the menu when it comes to, feeding all types. You got some really comical names, but pretty serious ingredients. My friend came through because I said, got to go to the biscuit truck, got to go to the Delta Biscuit truck. He got Thug Nasty. That's the biscuit with the fried chicken. I think there's gravy involved with that too somehow.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a fried chicken biscuit with bacon, a sunny side up egg, and then we top it with our homemade sausage gravy. And it quickly became the number one seller for a while. It has fallen only second place to the pre-ride, which is our version of a big breakfast, right? So you get a biscuit and gravy, you get 2 eggs, however you want them, choice of ham, bacon, or sausage, and then you get what we call half an order. It's half an order of potatoes if you were getting a full order in the hash. So it's still 5 ounces of that sweet potato, purple potato, gold potato blend. The amount of people who eat the whole thing still surprises me. I get through half of it, and I'm good. It's like a deconstructed, bigger hillbilly Benedict, basically.
There's no shortage of food, but there's no shortage. I can't believe you can't finish it. But
maybe the better thing is I know better because unless I'm going to take a nap, I get through half of it and I'm golden.
Yeah, exercise is pain and pleasure. Food is pleasure and pain.
That's
something
it.
Like that. Yeah. The French toast sticks have been really amazing. New to the menu.
Yep, new to the menu as of last week. We finally figured out that recipe and we're able to bring something on that I think is delicious and really great for kids and great to share. Like you get 4 of these pretty big French toast sticks. And basically what we did is we were doing the baked biscuit French toast. And what we wanted to do is have something that was available every day. And sometimes in a restaurant, that means, kind of figuring out your prep process. And so we basically take that biscuit French toast, we cut it into sticks, and then we dredge that in cornflakes. And then we're able to freeze those. And then when you order them, we drop them in the deep fryer real quick. They come out super crispy on the outside, light and fluffy on the inside, maple syrup. And then I'm playing around with some different kind of icings or dips for those. I want to do like a Fruity Pebble cereal milk like dip almost for those. I think it'd be a lot of fun and just kind of add some a little bit of fun, exciting brunch novelty to those.
I think that's a great idea because I like those French toast sticks, even though I'm a faux vegan. Most of the time, I eat mostly vegetarian stuff. But I have tried it with the jam that you have. Muscadine will be out soon. Again, I think you said.
I think we're almost into blackberry.
And then
muscadine will be after that.
After that, so they're good for dipping that. So a play on that with other things sounds like a great idea. And then not just for the food truck on 5th and J here, but also I was at the OORC Buffalo Headwaters Challenge. I think this was my 5th or 6th year. We lost a year for COVID, but 5th or 6th year of DJing that event. And the Buffalo Headwaters Challenge is beautiful and rigid and kind of crazy. But this year they moved it back and the weather was really nice. And you were there with something else on your menu. The pot pie, the chicken pot pie is here, and then you had a vegetarian pot pie. But I think on the menu it is chicken pot pie, which I have also eaten and several times and really love. So that's on the menu now too, right?
Yeah, that is. So the chicken pot pie is something that we play around with, especially during the colder months. And for the Buffalo Headwaters Challenge, which was something that it was our first year there. Something I didn't know. It's a big weekend long mountain bike event, race, ride. It's almost like a mountain bike extravaganza. It's just kind of a gathering. I know there's a race, but a lot of people don't race, they just ride and have a good time. But we went out and to feed about 340 attendees. And so the easiest way for us to do that, the way we do it is instead of baking it the way you would a traditional chicken pot pie with your your crust or your biscuits on top, we take our biscuits, split them open, and then we do them open face. So that pot pie goes across the top. That is a product that is just absolutely fantastic and easy for us to serve 340 people. So we can just keep the line moving. And I think the best part about it is when you get it off the food truck, it's super filling, it's hot. And on those cold days, it's just kind of real homey and kind of gets us out of that total breakfast SKU, brings us more into the lunch SKU, which is something we're toying around with. And hopefully after the time change, we're going to kind of introduce a little bit of a lunch menu. So
okay, yeah, the summer hours will kick in at some point, probably in March, but not much of a change in hours, right?
No, and we may not change the hours. We're talking about just maybe shifting, like bringing on a few more of the lunch items, because really we see our business, as you might imagine, with a breakfast kind of, I say breakfast in quotes. I can eat a biscuit all day, but kind of by 11:30, we see a little bit of a drop in business, and so we're looking to bring something fantastic. With the items we already have, we get a lot of comments on our fried chicken, and so we're playing around with some like fried chicken sandwiches. So it'll be a bun, toasted, and then we'll basically be able to take the Dr. Jones with the bacon jam, fried chicken, pimento cheese, put that on a bun, and kind of move that more into lunch with, choice of sides and some things like that. So
good. So moving into, and I can eat a biscuit all day as well, any time of the day, especially these biscuits, but more lunch relatable, I guess, items. But all of this stuff can be eaten all day.
Yeah, well, and the chicken sandwich on the bun, the biscuits we try to toe that line between fluffy and stay together, but when they're as big as ours, they're just going to crumble. And so the bun makes it a little bit easier to eat kind of on the go, stays together a little bit more, and I think will provide a really, really great customer experience is what we're looking for.
Great. And there's special events that you probably go to every now and then, but one that's coming up that you were at just as a visitor last year is on April 29th, and that is the 5th Street Market. You're going to be a permanent installation for
Absolutely.
That. So
we got lucky enough to do the fall market, but we didn't get to do the spring market last year, so we are super excited for that Big Fish Street Market in April. If it's anything like the fall market, it is number one, it's something if you're up here you shouldn't miss. But number two, it's a great day for us to really showcase kind of what we do. We'll have a little bit of a limited menu that day just so we can keep efficiency in. But it's a fantastic day, and we're very, very excited about it.
Awesome. Now, not to change gears too much, but I was, we've got a 28-minute show here. I was wondering if you'd spend a little bit of time telling us about the new venture, the new kitchen, the new you with Nosh Nola. Mm-hmm. What can you tell us, and where is it?
So last June, after we moved up, me and my business partner launched what we called at the time Nosh Food Lab. We launched that as a trailer. It was primarily at Ozark Beer, Natural State, but that was one part of a larger kind of food concept called Nosh. And that's a term that I came across years ago, and it's a little bit more British slang than it is American, but it can be a snack, it can be to eat, it can be a verb, it's all that kind of fun word. But then the food lab, we were doing burgers, tots, tachos, and looking for a permanent home going into 2023. And we have partnered up with Bentonville Brewing Company with that concept, and we're taking over the kitchen inside the brewery. So the place where Bergder was, we are taking over that, and we're launching a concept called Nosh Nola. It's going to have quite a few of the burgers and the tachos bringing over from the food lab, and then we're going to expand that out with the New Orleans style fare and influence. I grew up with a ton of that, and then especially the closer you get to Little Rock, you start getting catfish and po' boys and muffaladas on so many menus. But that's what we're going to be doing. So that is going to be launching mid-March. We're actually in the process of getting equipment and everything in there, and then we'll be doing soft opens. But you can expect po' boys, muffaladas, red beans and rice, the burgers, the tachos, wings. We are going to do something that I don't know that anyone else around is doing except Outback. We're going to bring in a bloomin' onion. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's got a little bit of Cajun flair to it, but it's something super shareable, something fun, something nostalgic. We want to create an incredible food experience along with Bentonville's incredible location and beer experience. And so super excited to be teaming up with them. And I know you we did a little bit of a pop-up off Delta Biscuit a couple of weeks ago, just testing out some menu items, getting some feedback, which was fantastic. Thank you for everybody who came out. But Theron, what did you think about what you had?
Thank you for asking, because I was going to tell you. I had the grilled catfish po' boy.
Okay.
And it was amazing. Had a big slice of tomato on it. It was very fresh and fluffy, unlike most catfish that I get. You also had a fried option that looked great. I didn't try that one. And then I got save that one. I got the red beans and rice, not vegetarian at all.
No.
But very tasty. It was, it was a small portion of it, and I had to try it. It's in my DNA to at least try red beans and rice whenever I see it special. Right. And then you know what I'm getting to. The bread pudding. Pudding. Tell us about the bread pudding, please.
So the bread pudding that we're going to be serving at Nosh Nola is actually going to be, it's from Delta Biscuit Company. The benefit of having two businesses is they can kind of, pick up slack or you can kind of go between with certain items. So for years, we've taken leftover biscuits and we make a biscuit bread pudding out of them, because a bread pudding is it's old crusty bread that you're soaking in custard, adding flavoring to, and then serving hot. And the way that I like it is typically with like a bourbon praline sauce. But I'm also a big bourbon guy, and I know New Orleans is famous for that kind of bourbon to praline sauce. So we're going to be serving our biscuit bread pudding, and we're serving that with a brown butter bourbon sauce. It's quite a bit thicker than most brown butter bourbon sauces that I've had, but I do believe that it kind of captures exactly what we want there. So that's a way that Delta Biscuit's going to kind of bleed over into Nosh Nola, but we got a ton of great reviews on that, and I had several people who tell me, if you don't have this, we're gonna riot until it shows up. But it will be on the menu. as one of our dessert options. So we're super excited for that.
And I'm a savory dude. I do not get into the sweets. So, I mean, it's just perfect. I really enjoyed it and appreciate what you're bringing to the depth of menu items when it comes to Northwest Arkansas. This is a really great place for food, and you're an amazing addition. Is there anything special you'd like to share about anything coming up for the Delta Biscuit Company, or anything that I haven't asked that you'd like to share?
Yeah, so we are partnering with it's a 5K race that's going to be happening in Bentonville May 6th. So trying to remember, I think it's the Race for Hope 5K. So we're going to be doing that May 6th. We're going to be, once the racers are done, we're going to have some little breakfast items there. Probably have our French toast sticks. We'll do maybe a sausage biscuit, or I may do something a little different there, just kind of have fun with it. So something, when you're done running that 5K, you can grab, get some carbs, start reloading those calories that you lost, and just showing some support there. We are currently working to get our schedule set for the Bentonville Farmers Market, which is going to be opening soon. We can't be gone from Airship every Saturday, because that would just, got to be at your home. But we are definitely going to be, hopefully at least once a month, maybe twice, maybe every third week. But we'll be working on that. So last year it was amazing for us. We loved being there. Going to be doing that. I got an email this morning about Bentonville First Fridays kicking back off. So we're going to be doing some of those. And we may even be able to do some fun things from Nosh on those, bring that over to kind of use the Delta Biscuit truck to serve out of, but maybe do a little bit of Louisiana influence on that, have some fun there. So got a lot going on. And then other than that, we are very much kind of in the growth phase with both businesses, and playing around with menu items kind of, and really with Delta, it feels like, because we've been open 4.5 years as a business now, but only here 10 months now. Well, I guess almost into March, so almost going into our 12th month here. But it's amazing the number of people, as you said, everybody knows where Airship is. The number of people who show up to get our food and are like, wait, you're next to a coffee shop? And then the number of people who walk over and go, oh my gosh, I've never heard of you. Because I feel like I'm overloading social media all the time. And every day we still get people who are like, oh, I have no idea. I didn't know y'all were here. Oh my gosh, this is great. Which is what we love to hear. So, as a business owner, balancing that act of, hey, how do I not overload and become a nuisance? But how do I make sure people know about us is kind of the challenge now. And so, guys like you, tons of our loyal customers, but then things like the 5K race, that's great for us to get out and start promoting, hey, here's where we are. Come see us. Let's do this. So, really focused on building that brand awareness in Bentonville, and, hopefully rolling that into a brick and mortar restaurant for Delta Biscuit, where we can expand that menu, bring in a killer bar, a little bit more coffee, and really bring that into kind of the fruition of what I envisioned from day one.
It's in your blood, man. It oozes out the professionalism, the excitement, the way you like to share the items. I don't think you could do anything else. I mean, I'm sure you could do a lot of things, like ride mountain bikes, because I know you do that here.
I did start when I moved up here.
Right. Yeah, and I tried not to get into it, and I love it. You know, just get a bike that's squishy. You're all good.
That's it.
But the way you share and the growing that you're doing just from the outside looking in, I really appreciate it. And you're a natural.
We love being part of the community up here. It's been such a blessing to us, and we felt such a big wave of support when we moved up. People excited we were here, people sharing us around, and then I think the move over, people like, oh, is that going to hurt you? And I was like, well, I don't think it hurt us at all moving from Little Rock up here, and I don't think it hurt us moving locations kind of middle of the year. But we've got a spot now that really feels like home. We've got a good community here. This area is growing. You have the Walmart being built, the big headquarters there, but they're going to be doing so much here on 5th Street. We're right down from the Momentary, and so much going on around here. So we're just doing our absolute best to become part of the community, kind of ingrain ourselves and figure out what we need to do to become kind of that, with Airship, really kind of that go-to spot in the mornings where it's like, oh, hey, let's just run over and get breakfast and coffee. And it doesn't have to be, we don't have to go in and sit down. We're not waiting on a waitress, where it's not kind of as formal. It's very, oh, hey, let's just grab it and go. You can order it online. You can, from our online app, you can even have it delivered. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible. And then the biggest thing for us is figuring out what exactly everyone wants, right? Because I know like you walk up, we know your order. People, you have other people who come up and sometimes a biscuit's a little heavy. So we have the hash options. People wanted more vegetarian options. So we brought on the Talk to Me Goose, which is like a veggie scramble. And then you can have biscuits, potatoes, or meat. You can get 2 of the 3. So it's like, okay, well, if you want it vegetarian, we'll get the potatoes and the biscuit. Get double potatoes. You can really get that however you want. And so we're having a lot of fun with it. And then we're just trying to grow that brand a little bit into what Bentonville kind of wants it to be. Because once you bring it into life, I really have a vision for it. But that vision, I suspect, and it feels right now like it's very much controlled by the culture around you and the community. And it's like, oh, you can't open a biscuit place if nobody likes biscuits. It doesn't matter how good it is or how hard. If people don't want it, it doesn't work. Luckily, people love biscuits, so we're
without a doubt. And it does help to have the vegetarian options. Some people do not eat certain things because they can't, and people who don't eat certain things because they choose not to. Most often, pick your battles. I'm going to eat the buttermilk biscuit.
That's right.
I'm not going to whisper it. I'm going to eat the buttermilk biscuit. Now, there's also outside seating there too. So, there's a lot of positives to visiting the truck. It's not like you're stuck to the car and have to wait for it and it comes out, or standing around. There's outside seating there. It's a really, really nice place to gather.
Blue Crane was great to us when we moved over and put quite a few. I think there's 12 really nice composite picnic tables out there. So they're not like the wood where they're rough or you're going to get a splinter. They're like the heavy duty composite, really nice picnic tables. We've got a sunshade we're going to bring over that'll cover probably 4 of them. And then, of course, you can always take your food, walk over to Airship. And if people do that, we always, we serve Airship coffee off the truck. But I always encourage, hey, can we take this into Airship? Yeah, absolutely. But please buy coffee from them directly. They get a better margin on it when you buy from them than when you buy from me, even though I'm buying it from them. But they have a great patio too, and they're more than happy to have you over there. Drinking their coffee and eating our biscuits. We've been with them for so long. Mark Bray, the owner, was so kind when this spot came open, and they kind of encouraged Blue Crane to reach out to us. And I think the partnership there is very, very strong, and especially with everything Airship's bringing into the community. I love being part of that and love teaming up with them.
Without a doubt. I've got my Airship coffee hat on. I'm into it. Nice people, great stuff. We know about some of the growth that's happening with Nosh Nola now, audience. And now you know where the Delta Biscuits food truck is, next to Airship on 5th and J and Cash Studios, right in between there. This is a place for fun. You're not working 24 hours a day, just 22 hours a day.
That's it.
In your downtime, what's your hobby, man? What do you like to do? I know you mentioned riding. I've seen your bike with you, I think, in your truck. Mm-hmm. But what's your favorite trail? What are the trails you like to hit here?
So being a super newbie, the first trail I ever rode on a mountain bike was, I went to Kohler and I rode Good Vibrations. And then I rode Esther's, right? And I was like, worst case scenario, I can walk. I'm pretty comfortable on a bike. You grow up on them as a kid, and I've always ridden. I commuted. I lived in Omaha, Nebraska for a while and commuted. So it was pretty comfortable, but never had a full suspension. And I did, all my friends told me, said, listen, don't buy the hardtail, buy the entry full suspension. They're incredible. They're significantly more expensive, but I can tell you this, as my buddy Cody's told me, he said, that bike is better than you are. And he goes, just trust it. He goes, it will handle way more than you think it can. And I said, okay. And so, I would say my favorite trail right now, to just go out and enjoy, man, I've really been enjoying the new Castle trails over at Slaughter Pen. But I find myself at Kohler probably a lot more because I'm just more familiar with it. So and part of it is fun, but part of it is like it's a great workout for me. So I'll go ride Esther's. I usually ride it counterclockwise. And then sometimes I'll go back and I'll hit Oscar's Loop and I'll ride up to the hub and then maybe take like Fireline down and then loop back around and kind of end up at the homestead for a little bit. And then, kind of jump back up to my car. So it just really depends on the day. I've had a lot of fun at Slaughter Pen, of course, exploring Medusa and Tamagotchi and all those. Got into the blues pretty quick. I'm not great going uphill on the blues, but I'm decent going downhill. And so still learning, but those are really the two areas I've ridden the most. I haven't been to the back 40. I haven't really been up into Bella Vista. But usually I get a couple hours and I'm trying to stay close. And very rarely do I get a Saturday or Sunday to really go explore. So, but
true that. At least the weather's working more on our side every
today and tomorrow
third or
look
fourth day. Today,
gorgeous.
Exactly.
And I think we got a little rain yesterday, but I think with the temperature and the wind today, I think tomorrow, which will be the last day of February, the 28th, I bet the trails are just going to be phenomenal. So I may try to get out. Hopefully I cracked some ribs during the ice, so hopefully I can get out and just do a little riding.
Real talk.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah, ice is unpredictable. I forgot about that. So, yeah, take your time on that. And then, Lake Weddington, I know that's a bit of a stretch for you, but that's where I like to go most often, and mainly because it dries so quickly.
Yep.
So keep that in mind if you ever want to go ride with me. Really appreciate your time today because, you don't have a lot of time, but I was really excited about this a couple of weeks, and I just kept getting more excited. So thank you for being here, Hayne. I
absolutely.
You.
Thanks so much for having me. I always enjoy being able to sit with friends and especially new friends and chat about what we're doing because, kind of from the beginning of Delta Biscuit, the belief has always been that any restaurant that opens should do its best to reflect and fit into the community that it opens in. And I think that's something that we kind of got away from. McDonald's will open wherever they can that's busy. A lot of your big chains, they're just going to go to the new hotness and they open and they just kind of bulldoze the trees and they make everything around them fit into their vision. And as we're opening places, we want to fit into the community around us. So with Delta Biscuit here next to Airship, the goal is to, let's update things. Let's fit into the community that's coming to Airship. Let's fit into the community that's coming to Bentonville and riding bikes and drinking beer and exploring this wonderful part of the state. And so how we do that has to be a reflection of what we're surrounded by. And that's kind of where we're headed for the rest of the year.
Man, thank you. This is airing on KOBV Bentonville Community Radio. And if you don't mind, let's repeat it together on this one, and then I'll snippet it out, and we can air it at the top of the hour. And
absolutely.
And then you can say, "This is Hayne Begley with Delta Biscuits, and you're listening to Bentonville Community Radio," and then they can air it whenever. But
awesome.
All together, let's say Bentonville Community Radio. This is Bentonville Community Radio. 103.3 FM. Thank you for tuning in today. And Delta Biscuits and Nosh New Orleans moving into Bentonville Brewery. You know where it's at. We'll see you there.